Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Kamarul Nabil, leader of Group 1. We'll present about introduction, solution question C and 7, and conclusion. The division of tasks is as follows. Question 1 is done by Veronica. Question 2 and 3 are done by Suhimin. Question 4 is done by Juina. Question 5 by Abi Farahani. And finally done by myself are questions 6 and 7. This distribution is done fairly through the marks for each question. Once we have completed each session, we will use online application platform such as Telegram and Google Meetings to discuss and correct the answer to each question.
Good morning and salutation. My name is Veronica Stephen and my student ID is 2020888046. Today I will present question 1, which is about megawatt company. The questions are required to find what is the taxable income from using the equipment in each of the 5 years. For each depreciable method, if the corporate tax is 40%, which method should the company use and why? Based on the question, we have 2 types of depreciation to find taxable income, which is straight line method of depreciation and sum of years digit method. From the 2 types of the method, we can conclude that there should not be a method better than the other because it really depends upon the condition. This is because if the condition needs to be ignored, the express of repairs, straight line method is better because it is a simplex method and the most commonly used method of depreciation. Besides, if the condition in real life, the assets when the new requires less repairs and when it gets old, it requires high repairs and maintenance. That is when we can see that depreciation expressed under the sum of digit method is decreasing in real life. This question relates to chapter 2. The learning outcome we can learn or to construct the SLM depreciation schedule. Next, we can understand the impact of SLM annual depreciation on the book value of the asset per year. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Suhimin bin Zinin and today I will talk about question 2 and question 3. In question 2, we have been asked to compute the total tax liability for the current year for the coffee latte corporation by applying chapter 2 that we have already learned and by using the method that the question have been asked for, which is using double declining balance method. We can summarize that the total tax liability for the current year for the Coffee Latte Corporation is 41,376 ringgit. For the learning outcome for question 2, we had been learned on how to find book value and annual depreciation. In addition, we have also learned how to find the value of the depreciation rate and also the accumulated depreciation for each year. Finally, we can find out the value of total tax liability by using the double declining balance method. For question 3, we have been asked to complete 2 sub-questions. For sub-question number 1, we have been asked to calculate investment expected return, standard deviation, and coefficient of variation for both company. And for sub-question number 2, we have been asked to choose which company should SABH invest in. For the final answer, we can summarize that SABH should invest in GHI ROS because of lower coefficient of variation. For the learning outcome, for question 3, we had been learned on how to calculate investment expected return, standard deviation, and coefficient of variation. Finally, we also had learned on how to choose company that have very low in risk and high in return for us to invest our money in.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Abi Farahani. I will talk about question 4, which is about Lingkungan company that is in the process of analyzing its investment opportunities. So we move to the question for Roman 1. The cost of sales for debt is 4.67%, which is after tax. Then for preferred stock, the first cost of sales is 8.25%, and the second is 8.89%. Next, for the common stock is 14.18% and 13.5%. Next is question Roman 2, which is break-even point for this firm's financial situation. For debt, there is no break-even point because there is unlimited financial limit for debt. Then the break-even point for preferred stock is Rm 5 million and for common stock is Rm 2,500,000. Now we turn to the question Roman 3. For the firm weighted average cost of capital for Limbungan is, in the first financing range, the total of WACC is 9.63%, while for second financing range is 9.9%, and the total of WACC for third financing range is 10.16%. For question Roman 4, firstly, to construct the table of WMCC by arranging from the highest initial investment rate to the lower initial investment rate, in order to find the greatest cost that we need to construct in investment opportunity schedule. As we can see from the graph, the initial investment rate of Beta High and Gamma Hill is higher than the WMCC of Limbungan, while for Alpha Park, it is lower than WMCC of Limbungan. It is mean that Limbungan not gain any profit if the company make an investment on Alpha Park, because its return rate is lower than WMCC of Limbungan and it cannot cover the cost of the investment. Lastly, from the calculation of Limbungan's financial situation, the last decision that Limbungan should take is the company should invest in project Gamma Hill and Beta High because of rate of return or initial investment rate is higher than WMCC. For the learning outcome for question 4, we have been learned on how to calculate cost of source of financing, determine the break-even point for the firm's financial situation, and calculate the weighted average cost of capital. And also, we have learned how to identify and choose the company that gives high return rate for an investment.
Hi and good morning everyone. My name is Junamat, student ID 2020881644, and I will continue this presentation for question 5. The first question is asked about EBIT and EPS for at the point of indifference. The first step is find the EBIT at the point of indifference, and we get the answer for EBIT is Rm 889,185,185. The next step is find the EPS for each plan. We get the same EPS for both plan, which is Rm 1.82 cent. Next, we move to the second question. The question is asked which plan will result higher EPS when the EBIT is expected to be 3 million ringgit Malaysia. We change the EBIT to ringgit Malaysia 3 million to find the EPS. And we get the EPS for plan 1 is ringgit Malaysia 0.33 cent, and EPS for plan 2 is ringgit Malaysia 0.06 cent. That is mean plan 1 will result in higher EPS. This question is based on chapter 6, financing, planning and uses of leverage. Based on chapter 6, the learning outcomes that we can learn is a point of indifference enables a financial manager to make a better financial decision when choosing the best financial plan that can minimize their shareholders' return not represented by EPS. That's all from me. Thank you.
D is a count and comment on question 6. Break-even point in boxes is 5,000. Loss on 15,000 boxes is 5,000 ringgit. Next, the degree of operating leverage at 20,000 boxes is 5 times. This so that indicate one-time changes in sales, the EBIT will change by 5 times. Finally, the degree of financial leverage at 20,000 boxes is 2 times. Therefore, indicate one-time changes in the EBIT, the EPS will change by 2 times. Learning outcome that we get from this question is we can develop a break-even analysis and its relationship with the determinant of product cost, sales, volume, and profit in a firm, and determine the degree of operating and financial leverage and its implication on the firm's profit and shareholders' return. While solving question 7, we have obtained a balanced and equal post-merger balance sheet. The addition of goodwill and total assets is 2,318,000 ringgit. Similarly, the increase from common stock, premium, retaining earnings, and total liability is also 2,318,000 ringgit. Learning outcome that we get from this question is that we can construct post-merger balance sheet under purchase method. In conclusion, as the group leader, I am very satisfied with the cooperation my group members gave in making this simulation report and video. I am so thankful and happy to have team members who are always doing their work and trying their best in an effort to get right answer to every question. In my opinion, 100% I give for hard work, effort, and mutual respect for each other in completing this task. That's all from us. Thank you for watching our video.